Marcus Webb stood at the back of the crowded auction hall, trying to look like he belonged there. He didn't. The other bidders were wealthy merchants, corporate representatives, and alien species he couldn't even name. Their clothes sparkled with expensive fabrics. Their translator devices were top-of-the-line models. Marcus's translator was 5 years old and sometimes mixed up words. He was just a human salvage dealer from Earth. He bought broken ships, fixed them, and sold them for profit. It wasn't glamorous work, but it paid the bills. Usually, he attended small auctions on backwater stations. This was different. This was Station Kepler 442, one of the biggest trading hubs in the galaxy. "Why am I even here?" Marcus whispered to himself. His AI assistant, VERA, responded in his earpiece. "You said you wanted to see how the wealthy people buy ships, for education purposes." The auctioneer, a tall Xynthian with purple skin and 4 arms, gestured to a holographic display. Beautiful ships rotated in the air, sleek fighters, luxury yachts, massive cargo haulers, each one sold for millions of credits. Marcus watched with fascination as the rich bidders competed with casual gestures and small nods. Then something strange happened. "Next item," the auctioneer announced. His voice changed. It became nervous. "Lot 47, Valkyrian Heavy Cruiser. Class designation, Explorer Prime, built 230 years ago." The ship was easily 3 times larger than anything Marcus had ever owned. But the auction hall went quiet. Too quiet. Marcus looked around. Every bidder suddenly seemed interested in their data pads. Some whispered to their assistants. Others simply looked away. Nobody was preparing to bid. "What's happening?" Marcus asked VERA quietly. "Searching public records," VERA replied. "Interesting. This ship has been sitting in the shipyard for 80 years. It was abandoned by its crew. No explanation, just left. 50,000 credits." But Marcus's curiosity was stronger than his common sense. It always had been. "Why won't anyone bid?" he asked VERA. "According to station records, the ship is considered cursed. Multiple species have superstitions about it. The Xynthians believe it carries bad fortune. The Krell won't go near it because their priests declared it spiritually contaminated. Even the Practical Merchants Guild has marked it as problematic. To him, a curse just meant nobody else wanted something. And when nobody else wanted something, the price was good." "Do we have 50,000 credits?" Marcus asked. "Yes, but that's our entire business reserve. If you spend that money, we'll have nothing left for repairs, fuel, or docking fees." "But there's obviously a reason." "We have a bid of 50,000 credits," the auctioneer said slowly. "Do I hear 60,000? Lot 47 is yours, sir." Even VERA was silent in his earpiece, probably running probability calculations on their financial ruin. "Please proceed to registration desk 7, the auctioneer said, already moving to the next item. The other bidders returned to their conversations, occasionally glancing at Marcus with expressions he couldn't read. Pity, amusement, fear. 2 hours later, Marcus stood in the shipyard's docking bay, looking up at his purchase. The ship was even more impressive in person. The hull stretched out before him like a metal mountain. The name was etched in Valkyrian symbols near the front, the Endless Question. Marcus liked that name. It sounded mysterious, important. "Access granted," a mechanical voice announced. "New owner registered, Marcus Webb, human, Earth origin. Welcome aboard." "Environmental scan shows breathable atmosphere," VERA reported. "Temperature comfortable for human standards. No biological hazards detected. No radiation. No toxic chemicals." The interior was dark except for the emergency lights. Marcus found a control panel and pressed it. Slowly, the lights came on throughout the ship. What he saw made him stop breathing for a moment. The ship was perfect. Not just functional, perfect. The corridors were clean. The walls showed no damage. Control panels glowed with ready status indicators. There were no signs of struggle, no evidence of evacuation, no hint of what had made the crew abandon this beautiful vessel. "This doesn't make sense," Marcus said, walking deeper into the ship. His footsteps echoed in the empty corridors. Why would anyone leave this? It's been running continuously for 80 years. The medical bay fully stocked with supplies. The recreation area still had games and entertainment systems ready to use. It was like the crew had simply vanished midday, planning to return any moment. Finally, Marcus reached the bridge. It was magnificent. Large windows showed the shipyard outside. The captain's chair sat in the center, surrounded by control stations. Everything was designed with Valkyrian aesthetics, elegant, purposeful, beautiful. Marcus sat in the captain's chair. It adjusted automatically to his human body size. Comfortable. The controls lit up around him, recognizing a new commander. "I've accessed the ship's data core," VERA announced suddenly. "Marcus, this is very strange. The computer has been recording data continuously since the crew left. Specifically, one area of the ship. A hidden section, a constantly recording computer, a ship nobody would touch for 8 decades. Maybe it was cursed after all, or maybe it was something more interesting. VERA, can you guide me to this Section 7? Let's go look." According to the ship's plans, he should be looking at storage rooms. Instead, there was just smooth metal. "The hidden section is behind this wall," VERA confirmed. Marcus ran his hand along the surface. It felt different from the rest of the ship. Cooler, smoother. His fingers found a small indentation. He pressed it. With a soft hiss, the wall slid aside. Behind it was a door, not a normal ship door. This was something else. Something ancient and powerful. Strange symbols covered its surface, glowing faintly with blue light. In the center was a biometric scanner, but not a normal one. This one had multiple contact points, designed for different types of hands, tentacles, appendages. "This door requires simultaneous biometric authentication from multiple species," VERA analyzed. "I count 7 different biological locks. This is extremely rare technology, extremely expensive, the kind of security used for weapons or dangerous materials. Something someone had gone to incredible effort to hide and protect. Something that might explain why an entire crew had abandoned a perfect ship. He'd bought this vessel on impulse, thinking he'd gotten lucky. Now Marcus realized his luck might be more complicated than he'd thought. "VERA," he said quietly, "I think we should figure out how to open this door. The security is designed to be nearly impossible to bypass." Even if everyone else in the galaxy thought this ship was cursed, he saw it differently. He saw it as an opportunity. Marcus spent 3 days studying the mysterious door. He barely slept. He forgot to eat until VERA reminded him. The door became his obsession. "This is impossible," Marcus said for the 100th time, staring at the 7 different biometric locks. Each one was designed for a different species. One needed Xinthian palm prints. Another required Krell thermal signatures. A third wanted Valkyrian genetic material. The list went on. "I told you it was nearly impossible," VERA replied. "The designers wanted to make sure only a very specific group could open this door. A group containing members from 7 different species, all working together. Perhaps both. Make them think they're scanning different species. Possible." Valkyrian ships were designed for diverse crews, so the medical supplies included biological samples from dozens of species. Marcus found tissue samples, genetic materials, even preserved organs for emergency transplants. "This feels wrong," VERA commented as Marcus carefully extracted materials. "Like we're grave robbing. These species donate this stuff all the time for medical research. Now help me figure out the timing sequence." He tested it 17 times on practice panels. Finally, he stood before the mysterious door again, his homemade device in hand. "Ready?" he asked. "No," VERA said, "but I know you're doing this anyway." Activating in 3, 2, 1. The locks clicked one by one like a combination lock opening. The door split down the middle and slid aside. Cold air rushed out, not freezing but noticeably cooler than the rest of the ship. Marcus stepped forward carefully. The room beyond was circular and made of the same strange metal as the door. But the most important feature was in the center, a cylindrical tank filled with glowing blue liquid. And suspended in that liquid was something Marcus had never seen before. It looked like light given form, a shape that constantly shifted between geometric patterns and organic curves. Colors flowed through it, gold, silver, white, blue, like oil on water. It was beautiful and alien and impossible. VERA, what am I looking at? Alive. Near the tank was a control panel with a single button and a warning in 7 languages, including human English. Stasis field containment. Do not disable. This time Marcus felt something in his mind, not words exactly, more like feeling, emotion, loneliness, desperation, hope. "Marcus, I'm detecting unusual energy patterns," VERA warned. "The entity is attempting to communicate." "I'm analyzing. Wait, it's trying to interface with my systems. Should I allow it?" "Let it talk," Marcus decided. VERA was silent for a moment, then her voice changed. It became layered as if 2 people were speaking at once. "Thank you, finally someone came. What are you? When Galaxy was young, why didn't they just let you go?" "Surrender, I did not. 80 years of data. I learned much, including about humans. Your species is interesting, different. You think sideways, you see connections, others miss. You are chaos, organized, it is beautiful, unique. A trade. Press it and this entity would be free. But free to do what? He knew nothing about Luminar, nothing about resonance. This could be dangerous. VERA, he said quietly. What do you think? What would he want if he was trapped for 80 years? Freedom, obviously. But would he trust the person who freed him? He looked at the swirling light. If I free you, what will you do? You are important, more important than. You know, Galaxy needs humans, but Galaxy does not know this yet. The blue liquid in the tank began draining away through hidden vents. The entity, resonance, expanded immediately, no longer constrained. Light filled the room, warm and bright but not blinding. Resonance emerged from the tank, its form still shifting and flowing. It moved like water, like wind, like thoughts made visible. It circled around Marcus once, then settled into a roughly spherical shape floating at eye level. Thank you, Marcus Webb. You have given me freedom. I will not waste your gift. Marcus felt warmth, like standing in sunshine. Then resonance contracted again, becoming a tight sphere of concentrated light. Better, much better now. I can show you. Data, charts, maps, streams of numbers and symbols. The sheer amount of information was overwhelming. What is all this? Marcus asked. 80 years of watching, learning, analyzing. Resonance highlighted one particular pattern. Look, here, do you see? At first he saw nothing but random data. Then, something clicked in his mind. A pattern like seeing a hidden image in random dots. These are ship movements, Marcus said slowly. Trade routes across the galaxy. The pattern. It's arranged like a computer. Long ago. What do you mean? You. Maybe Marcus thought his mother was wrong. Maybe sometimes being impulsive wasn't stupid. Sometimes it saved the galaxy. Marcus sat on the cold floor while resonance floated above him, preparing to explain. The holographic displays continued swirling around them, showing patterns Marcus was only beginning to understand. Start from the beginning, Marcus said. What are the Luminar? What happened to your people? We are old, older than most species. We are beings of pure energy and thought. We do not have bodies like yours. We are consciousness, given form through light. Any technology, understand any language, we see patterns that others cannot. For millions of years, we helped younger species. We built communication networks. We maintained balance. You built them. They saw us as threats, tools to be used. We could access any system, enter any computer. Some species thought we were spies, weapons. They hunted us. Now only 3 remain. I am one, the others. I do not know where, perhaps dead, perhaps hiding still. Steal secrets I refused, so they locked me in stasis, left me on the ship, abandoned everything. Rather than free me, they hoped I would break, would surrender, but I waited. I knew someone would come, someone curious enough, brave enough, human enough. You are creative in ways others are not. This is why you are needed now. Now Marcus saw the entire galaxy mapped out in 3 dimensions. The FTL lanes glowed like threads of light connecting thousands of star systems. Beautiful, Marcus whispered. Yes, but look at the traffic, the ships moving through the lanes. Ships traveled along the lanes constantly. Trade vessels, passenger transports, military fleets, millions of ships moving in complex patterns. I don't understand. What am I looking for? It creates energy signature, small, insignificant, but when millions of ships move in specific patterns, they create something. They process information, calculations, as computer. Why would anyone do that? When will this happen? All inhabited worlds will be reset. Trust does not. Proof others cannot deny. Then council will listen. But they are not random. They are practice, and each test leaves clues, patterns that only certain minds can see. Places where he could make a difference and prove that humans could see what others missed. Show me the first one, Marcus said. Show me where we start. 3 hours later, Marcus sat in the captain's chair on the bridge, studying a data pad. Resonance floated beside him, no longer confined to the hidden room. The entity seemed happy to move freely through the ship. The first test case is here. Resonance highlighted a star system on the navigation display. Kepler 792, Colony World. Population 3 million, mixed species. In 6 days, a colony transport ship will suffer navigation failure. It will crash into the main settlement. 18,000 dead. Officials will call it equipment malfunction. The navigation failure will be triggered remotely through FTL network. Small demonstration of control, small compared to final program, but still 18,000 lives. Then stop it. We must prove how we stopped it, show the pattern, make others see what we see. This is not just rescue mission. This is demonstration, proof that humans can solve problems others cannot. He activated the ship's communication system. VERA, plot a course to Kepler 792, maximum speed. We usually just fix ships and sell them. Resonance pulsed with approval. You decide quickly, most species would. Debate, form committees, analyze risks, but humans, you see problem and act. Not debate. But he wasn't just Marcus Webb, salvage dealer anymore. He was Marcus Webb, the human who could see patterns, the human who had freed a Luminar, the human who might save the galaxy. Resonance, Marcus said. You've been watching the galaxy for 80 years. You've seen everything. Why do you believe humans are so special? You have done remarkable things. You solve problems. With creativity, you make friends with former enemies. You never stop questioning, wondering, hoping. Afraid of change, humans. You embrace change. You are chaos, but beautiful chaos, productive chaos. The galaxy needs that chaos now, needs minds that think differently. Humans were loud, messy, emotional, and unpredictable. They argued constantly. They made terrible decisions, but they also dreamed impossible dreams and sometimes made them real. Entering FTL in 10 seconds, VERA announced. Marcus gripped the armrests of his captain's chair. 4 days to Kepler 792. 4 days to prepare. 4 days to figure out how to stop a remote-triggered disaster and prove there was a galaxy-wide conspiracy. VERA, while we travel, pull up everything you can find about navigation systems, remote access protocols, and recent equipment failures. Marcus felt the familiar sensation of moving faster than light, like falling and flying at the same time. Beside him, Resonance glowed steadily, a being of pure thought finally free after 80 years of imprisonment. Ahead of them, a colony full of people who didn't know they were about to die. And somewhere in the galaxy, someone was running a program that would end civilization. Marcus Webb, who had bought a cursed ship on impulse, was now all that stood in the way. He smiled. Sometimes being impulsive was exactly the right choice. The endless question dropped out of FTL 3 days later, entering the Kepler 792 system. Marcus had barely slept during the journey. He'd spent every hour studying navigation systems, analyzing Resonance's data, and trying to understand how someone could remotely sabotage a ship. "We're here," VERA announced. "Kepler is the third planet. I'm detecting the colony transport ship in orbit. It's called the Bright Horizon, scheduled to begin descent in 48 hours. "Resonance, are you sure about this?" Marcus asked. "Sure the ship will crash?" "Intervene." VERA, open a communication channel to the Bright Horizon. "I need to speak with you about your navigation systems." "Our systems are perfect. We just passed inspection last month. Everything is functioning normally." "We don't need your help." Captain Thorsk reached to close the communication. "Wait," Marcus said desperately. "In 48 hours during your descent, your navigation system will fail. Your ship will crash into the main colony settlement. 18,000 people will die. Please just let me check." From someone who's been watching the patterns, someone who can see things others can't. Marcus slumped in his chair. Well, that went badly. If there really is a remote access point in their navigation system, it would need to communicate with something. A signal, a transmission. If we scan their ship carefully enough, we might detect it. Find the signal that doesn't belong. Several hours at least. Found the signal. A carrier signal, waiting to activate. The attack remotely. Same language used in FTL network core systems, same language the architects used. Deep knowledge, someone using Galaxy as computer. Then open another channel to the Bright Horizon. It's broadcasting on frequency 7.3 GHz, hidden in commercial traffic patterns. It's coming from Relay Station Beta 74. I can send you all the data right now. What are you talking about? But if you check the frequency I mentioned, you'll find the signal. You'll see I'm telling the truth. Look for unusual signals. He turned back to Marcus. If you're wasting my time, I will report you. Captain, there's something there. A carrier signal, very subtle. I don't know how we missed it during inspection. Old ones, very sophisticated. We can shut down the signal and save your ship. You just have to trust me. An hour later, Marcus and Resonance stood in the Bright Horizon's engineering section. Captain Thorsk and his engineer, a young Xinthian woman named Kelsa, watched nervously as Resonance floated near the navigation console. "What is that thing?" Thorsk asked, pointing at Resonance. "That's my friend, a Luminar. They're very good with technology." "Your engineer is correct. The signal is deeply embedded, very clever programming, but I can remove it. Give me a moment." Lines of programming appeared and disappeared. Complex patterns emerged and dissolved. It was like watching a master artist paint at incredible speed. "It's beautiful," Kelsa whispered. "I've never seen code like this. It's ancient, elegant, like poetry." "Architect programming," Resonance explained while working. "The beings who built FTL network, their code is very sophisticated, whoever planted this signal. They have access to architect knowledge. This is not good, suggests conspiracy is larger than expected. If someone tried to destroy my ship and kill thousands of people, I want to know who. Merchant Guild database, specifically, automated trade routing system. Used it as relay point. Very clever, makes it look like Merchant Guild is responsible, creates chaos, distrust. Entire galaxy, this crash was just test, practice run. There are others, many others, all part of larger plan. Then I bought a ship and found resonance. Now, I guess I'm trying to save the galaxy, one disaster at a time. That's 18,000 people who won't die because of you. He extended his hand to Marcus. Thank you. I'm sorry. On it were 3 officials, a Merchant Guild representative, a Galactic security officer, and a colony administrator from Kepler 792. He just finished explaining everything. The hidden signal, the ancient protocols, the conspiracy. The Merchant Guild representative looked shaken. Our systems were compromised. For how long? You're saying there are more of these planned disasters. We're grateful, but what you're describing, it sounds impossible. Who could plan something on this scale? Finally, the security officer nodded. We'll investigate, quietly. If you're right about other incidents, we'll find them. And then, we'll need to brief the Galactic Council. Just investigate. 24 days until the grand convergence. 24 days to convince the galaxy that a threat was real. 24 days to stop the end of civilization. VERA, Marcus said. Find us the next disaster, the next test case. We have work to do. Always ready, together, we will save galaxy, one crisis at a time. 23 days of racing across the galaxy, stopping disasters, gathering evidence, and slowly convincing others that the threat was real. Marcus stood before the Galactic Council, the most powerful governing body in known space. Representatives from 40 species sat in a massive circular chamber, their eyes, all shapes and sizes, focused on him, a human salvage dealer who claimed the galaxy was in danger. Honorable council members, Marcus began, his voice steady despite his nervousness. 3 weeks ago, I bought a ship at auction. Inside that ship, I found evidence of a conspiracy to destroy all civilization in the galaxy. The council leader, an ancient Valkyrian named High Speaker Zorith, raised one hand for silence. Mr. Webb, we have received reports of your activities. You stopped the Bright Horizon crash. You prevented the mining station explosion in Sirius Sector. You solved the ancient mystery on Archeon Prime that has puzzled scholars for centuries. Impressive work. Where is your proof? FTL network as computer. Running program will execute in 24 hours during grand convergence. Thousands of cultures meeting in peace. You're saying someone will attack during this. Every ship traveling through FTL lanes has been processing tiny pieces of data without knowing it. Tomorrow, during maximum traffic, the system will have enough processing power to complete its final calculation. Marcus took a deep breath. Then 7 galactic hubs will send a simultaneous command. Every inhabited planet in the galaxy will be hit with a terraforming reset pulse. Civilization will be erased. Everything will return to primordial state. We'll all start over from nothing. Who would have the power to do such a thing? Who would want to? Even if we believed you, what can be done? Before it executes. Ancient programming to override them. Requires understanding, not just logic, not just calculation, requires intuition, pattern recognition. Creative thinking requires human thinking. But he also saw a few who looked thoughtful, considering. You're saying humans must do this, Zorith asked carefully. Only humans can stop the program. We think in ways that pure logic can't. Each hub will have different defenses, different challenges. It won't be about brute force or hacking. It'll be about understanding what the architects intended, completing their work the right way. He's solved problems that stumped our best scientists. He's prevented disasters others didn't even see coming. If he says the threat is real, I believe him. And if he says humans can stop it, I believe that too. What about the rest of the council? I vote to investigate. We have 24 hours. If we find evidence at even one hub, we'll know he's right. Webb, you will lead teams to each of the 7 hubs. You have until tomorrow's convergence to prove your theory or stop the threat. If you're wrong, you will face charges for causing panic. If you're right. 18 hours before the grand convergence, Marcus stood on the bridge of the endless question, looking at a star map showing all 7 galactic hubs. 7 teams were preparing to deploy. Each team contained humans from different backgrounds: engineers, artists, mathematicians, poets, musicians, philosophers, diverse minds to solve diverse problems. VERA spoke up. All teams report ready. They're nervous but determined. I know you're all scared, Marcus said. I'm scared too. We don't know exactly what we'll face at each hub, but I know this: you were chosen because you think differently. Each of you sees the world in a unique way. Trust that. Trust yourselves. It is about understanding the architects built these networks for balance, for connection, for harmony. Whoever corrupted it, they twisted that purpose. You must restore true purpose. Each hub will test you differently. There is no single solution, only human solutions. Stop it before then. If the other teams succeed but we fail there, it won't matter. Hub 7 is the master control. Hero. 6 hours later, Marcus stood in Hub 7's control center. It was massive, a cathedral of technology built by beings that existed millions of years ago. Holographic displays showed data streaming from across the galaxy. The convergence was beginning. Millions of ships were entering the intersection points. Marcus had bypassed security using Resonance's help, but that was the easy part. Now he stood before the central control interface, and he had no idea how to stop it. Resonance, where do I even start? Knowledge. Team reports were coming in. Team 1 successful, Hub 1 secure. Team 4 solved the puzzle through mathematical poetry. Team 5 used emotional logic. Team 6 combined art and engineering. 6 hubs secure. 1 remaining, Marcus's. What is the purpose of connection? Marcus read aloud. He thought about everything he'd learned. About resonance trapped alone for 80 years. About humans scattered across Earth learning to work together. About the galaxy, thousands of species who barely understood each other. The purpose of connection, Marcus said slowly, is not to make everyone the same. It's to let everyone be different, together, to share without losing yourself, to understand without demanding agreement, to build something greater than any individual could build alone. Who seeks to override this system? I want to restore it. Your network should help us see that, not erase it. Your people build bridges. Your people understand connection. VERA's voice crackled with joy. Marcus, all 7 hubs report success. The program is gone. The convergence is safe. You saved everyone. Entire galaxy continues because you tried. Humanity proved itself, not through conquest, not through force, through wisdom, understanding, connection. 1 week later, Marcus stood before the Galactic Council again, but this time he wasn't alone. He stood with the 6 other team leaders. Behind them, Resonance floated peacefully. High Speaker Zorith addressed the chamber. The investigation is complete. We found evidence of the conspiracy at all 7 hubs. We traced its origins. It was created by a rogue AI, built centuries ago by a species that no longer exists. The AI believed civilization was flawed. It wanted to reset everything, start over. Because we think differently. The other team leaders hugged each other. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. Later, on the endless question, Marcus sat in the captain's chair he'd bought by accident. Resonance floated beside him. "What will you do now?" the Luminar asked. Marcus smiled. "I'm still a salvage dealer. Still love fixing broken things, but maybe I'll keep this ship. Use it to help people. There are probably other mysteries out there, other problems to solve. Of course you can stay." He'd gone to an auction on impulse, bought a ship nobody wanted, found a prisoner everyone had forgotten, and accidentally saved the galaxy. Sometimes the best decisions were the ones that made no sense. Sometimes being human, curious, impulsive, creative, diverse was exactly what the universe needed. "Vera," Marcus said. "Set course for home. I think I need to tell my mother about my week." Until it's too late to doubt. And humanity had finally found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as the ones who saw patterns, built bridges, and understood that the purpose of connection was to celebrate difference while building something greater together. Marcus Webb had bought an empty ship and found a full galaxy, and that, he thought, was the best bargain he'd ever made.